G'day, it's Nigel Scullion here and I'm speaking from Parliament House in Canberra today to tell you about the 2018 Closing the Gap report, which the Prime Minister has just delivered. So if you've got some time, get onto Malcolm's Facebook page and have a look at the video of his speech to Parliament. We're making real progress in closing the gap and the Prime Minister has set out an excellent vision for building on this. But before I get onto that, can I say what an absolute privilege it is to serve as the Minister for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Island Affairs. I mean, our country is just so fortunate to have the oldest continuous cultures, dating back some 65,000 years. Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people have cared for, have looked after country over this extraordinary period of time with one of the most advanced social systems and civilisations anywhere in recorded history. But beyond this truly magnificent history, we also need to be celebrating the fantastic contribution that Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Australians are making right here and now, whether they're doctors, lawyers, scientists, educators, and of course sportsmen and women. We've just got to celebrate that. And that's why Closing the Gap Week, we must more than ever not focus on the deficits. We should also give equal time to celebrating the achievements and the contributions of our first Australians. So one of the biggest success stories over the past few years has been this absolutely game-changing Indigenous procurement policy. Since we established the IPP in 2015, we have now awarded $1 billion in Commonwealth contracts to Indigenous businesses. So this compares with just $6.2 million in the last year of the former government. So this is an absolutely remarkable achievement and it is a testament to the strength of our Indigenous business sector. So I'm very pleased to report that this year we're also on track to meet 3 of the 7 Closing the Gap targets. Now that's the best result we've had in the Closing the Gap's history, even including 2011 when some of the subsequent data showed that we didn't have 3 of the targets on track. So the target to halve the gap in child mortality by 2018 is on track. So too, the target to ensure 95% of all Indigenous 4-year-olds are enrolled in early childhood education by 2025. And the target to halve the gap in Year 12 attainment by 2020 is also on track. Importantly, in the last decade, we've also seen really solid progress in other target areas. So infant mortality rates have declined significantly by 14% since 1998. NAPLAN education indicators have improved markedly. And the employment rate, which is really important for First Australians, has actually risen by 4.2%. So as we approach the 10th year of Closing the Gap, I think we also need to recognise that we need to do things differently. First of all, having the states and territories on board, and I'd like to commend all the premiers and chief ministers in their assistance on this. It's critical to Closing the Gap because so many of their policies actually have an impact on the lives of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Australians, like housing and health, education, justice. So I want to see every Premier and Chief Minister explain to their parliaments and to their mobs how they're progressing to improve the lives of the first Australians in their jurisdiction, just like the Prime Minister has done today. But most importantly, as we embark on this refresh, I want to hear from Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people about what you would like to see from your governments, perhaps your communities, and what you do to encourage, I'd like to encourage as many of you as possible to have your say through the Closing the Gap Refresh website. Thanks very much.